Hello, everyone. This is Andre Smith here with another edition of the Wrestling Artistry Podcast. And today I will be reviewing the episode of AEW Rampage from September 17th, 2021. They came from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. First match of the night is a tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. The Butcher and the Blade versus the Lucha Brothers. The action is going along smoothly as the Lucha Brothers show their tag team fluidity, but the Butcher and the Blade later on show some teamwork of their own. So they were definitely holding their own in this match. At one point, the Butcher takes control for his team after he delivers a cross-body block to Penta El Zero Miedo. Penta continues to be in trouble as the Butcher and the Blade double-team him, punishing him, but Penta manages to fight his way back, making the tag to his brother Ray Phoenix. Phoenix holds his own as they hit as the match continues. Him and Penta hit the Fear Factor finisher, which consists of a double stomp, a package power driver combination. Phoenix goes for a dive, but then crashes and burns as he makes a save for the Blade. Or rather, the Butcher made the save for the Blade. Sorry about that. Didn't finish my coffee this morning. Anyway, the Blade at one point tied Penta's mask to the rope in the corner as he and the Butcher double team Phoenix. Penta was unable to go help his brother, but in an interesting twist, Penta unmasked himself, covering his face, and delivers a super kick to the Blade, and then Phoenix rolls up Butcher for the victory to retain the tag team belts. Afterwards, Private Party comes out and attacks the Lucha Bros, helping out their homeboys in the Matt Hardy brand faction. And then out comes Santana Ortiz, saving the Lucha Bros, their former rivals. Next, the spotlight is on the match for this coming week, there's a match on the AEW Dynamite's Grand Slam event to be held on Wednesday as AEW World Champion Kenny Omega goes up against Bryan Danielson. As it turns out, this match will be non-title and is basically for bragging rights to see who is definitely the best. You know, and Omega and Danielson keep talking trash. He called Danielson an underdog, and Danielson says that basically that Kenny is not on his level, and I am looking very forward to that match. Next, we have women's action as Anna Jay, accompanied by her friend Ty Conti, goes up against the Bunny with Penelope Ford. The action starts wide open as they start exchanging fists to each other, and before Anna Jay suplexes the Bunny on the floor. Then as the match continues, the Bunny starts concentrating on the injured shoulder of Anna Jay. Jay mounts a comeback while nursing that shoulder. As for those who follow AEW, she recently just came back from shoulder surgery. After the match continues, Jay gets a roll-up victory after the Bunny gets distracted by Ty Conti and Ford battling outside the ring. Afterwards, the Bunny attacks Jay, but Conti comes out and saves Jay. Then Penelope Ford comes into the ring, pulls out some brass knuckles, and knocks out both Anna Jay and Ty Conti. Afterwards, the heels stand tall in the ring. They now talk about the upcoming match between CM Punk and Powerhouse Hobbs. This all started on an episode of Dynamite in which Taz was talking trash to CM Punk while Punk was on commentary, and Powerhouse Hobbs attacked him from behind and chokeslammed him onto the table. That looked like that sucked. Anyway, on this coming episode of Rampage, they will face one-on-one. Later on, Tony Schiavone is in the ring interviewing Matt Hardy, who's basically pissed off because his entourage of people have been on a losing end all night. He goes to ringside and sees an Orange Cassidy fan, and he attacks him. He throws him into the ring. Jack Evans comes out. Him and Hardy beat up the poor guy and starts cutting his hair. Then Orange Cassidy comes out to the rescue as the heels get chased off. Next, we have another interview with Schiavone in the ring as AEW Women's Champion Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, makes her way to the ring as she has a face-to-face with Ruby Soho. This was an interesting exchange, to say the least. Some of the highlights include Baker claims that Ruby was still trying to figure out who she was. Soho states that she always knew who the hell she was, but up until now, she didn't have the freedom to do it. Consider where she was at. I'm not surprised. She proceeds to tell Britt that on the surface, she's just like any other woman Ruby has stood across the ring with. Entitled, self-centered, and begging some dude in the back. Britt accuses Ruby of lying, saying that Ruby caused herself to run away. She tells Soho that she didn't run away, she got fired. Soho said that it was the best thing, that getting fired from WWE was the best thing that happened to her. She also said that Baker had basically had her head up Tony Khan's ass, and after they proceeded to start fighting until Britt Baker gets out of the ring and Soho holds the women's championship title belt over her head. Next, we have Fuego del Sol versus Miro for Miro's TNT championship. Fuego del Sol says that if he loses this match, that he'll give his card to Miro. I'm like, dude, that's a nice car. I wouldn't even, and he just got it too. I wouldn't have done that, but he believes in himself. That's for certain. He definitely believes in himself. It started out as a dominant match for Miro, but Del Sol catches Miro off guard a few times, using his speed to try and take the big man down. And at one point, that gets snuffed out when they're outside the ring and Miro delivers a fallaway slam to Fuego outside the ring. Del Sol tries to mount another comeback, but when he did like a springboard off the ropes, Miro hit him with a double axe handle, which kind of reminded me of Ivan Putski's Polish Hammer. For those who don't know that, Google Ivan Putski. Del Sol tried to his best to, hang in there during the match, but Miro he wasn't having it. He delivered one super kick that looked brutal. Then he delivered even a more brutal second super kick and pins Fuego del Sol, retaining the TNT championship. Then Miro takes Del Sol's keys, puts the keys in Del Sol's mouth, then applies a game over submission until Sammy Guevara, who happens to be Fuego del Sol's actual best friend, comes to the rescue. And as Miro runs off, Guevara holds the TNT championship in his hand and just looks at Miro. So we're possibly looking at a future match between Miro and Sammy Guevara. Another good show coming from AEW. I'd say they're doing very, very well. I really hope the momentum continues, and I hope that they use their recent acquisitions in a good way while still pushing their homegrown talent. I may discuss that in future episodes of the podcast. And that is it for my review of AEW Rampage for this past week. And I'll see you again. I will talk to you again next week for another edition of the Wrestling Artistry Podcast. Until then, so long for now.